Right now, corridor transportation groups are collaborating and looking for solutions to challenges on the road. Today, more than a dozen groups in Lynn County met to talk about a variety of topics, including non-emergency medical transport, accessibility in public transit, and meeting demand with limited budgets. Today's forum was open to the public, and some asked how transit services can meet their needs at a time when customer expectations are changing.
A short Uber or Lyft ride being $7 or $10, whereas a ride on the city bus is $1.50. You know, you certainly would love to be able to provide the service, but people who need it aren't necessarily always able to afford the higher price. So it's finding the balance between level of service and cost and trying to make it work for as many people as possible.
The groups also discussed the future of transportation, like automated vehicles and how that could change the landscape from interstates to road signs and parking lots. Self-driving cars might seem like science fiction, but the fact is, this region is paving the way for autonomous technology. Thousands of cars and trucks travel on I-380 between Cedar Rapids and Iowa City every day. And a few already have the capability of doing it with little driver input.
If we want to change lanes, all I have to do is put on my turn signal. And what it's going to do is it's going to look to my left, basically in my blind spot area, to see if it's clear, and then it's going to execute that lane change just like that.
It's mind-blowing to see what the driver assistance features on this University of Iowa research vehicle can do. The person behind the wheel still has to be engaged.
And then I can let it take back control.
But this Tesla can change lanes, speed up, slow down, park, and cruise like it has a mind of its own.
And so now we can turn on autopilot, and this is really a driver assistance system, so I'm still monitoring the technology here, but it's right now it's steering. You can kind of feel it kind of going back and forth.
Anyone can buy a car like this right now, and much of the research that made it happen can be traced to the National Advanced Driving Simulator at the UI.
All of the technologies that we are seeing come into vehicles today at one point or another came through the University of Iowa for testing or original development.
That was key to the corridor securing one of only 10 autonomous vehicle proving ground designations from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Already, I-380 has been digitally mapped to facilitate further research.
We're very open-minded in terms of the technologies that might benefit safety.
Scott Marler with the Iowa DOT recently offered his insight during a panel discussion on autonomous vehicles at the Iowa Ideas Conference in Cedar Rapids. With 95% of crashes attributed to driver error, he sees the research as a way to make our highways safer.
If we think about these advanced technologies, when we have weather, when we have crashes, when we have obstructions in the roadway, how does that translate to what a driver experiences in the vehicle and eventually decisions that the vehicle will be making as it reacts to these events?
McGee says we won't see fully automated self-driving cars in regular traffic for decades. But there are certain areas where we will see incremental changes in automation, and Iowa holds promise.
Interstate 80, Interstate 35, I-380, those are limited access freeways where we know that there are not cars going to be pulling in front of you, pedestrians. That kind of roadway is really where we're going to see the first level of automation increase.
In addition to safety, experts see autonomous vehicles as a way to improve efficiency in the commercial trucking industry. And while some fear that will eventually mean fewer jobs for drivers, others see the corridor's proving ground designation as an opportunity to bring more high-skilled research and development jobs to the area.
There are a lot of different entities working to solve this. There are a lot of implications from safety to the more efficient movement of goods and people. And so we see this as an industry of the future that we're early stage and can help build and attract those high quality, talented people to the region. We've got a number of them. This would just be a new opportunity to explore some pretty cool technology.
It is cool. The University of Iowa and the National Safety Council are leading an education campaign around these new technologies. If you'd like to learn more about each feature and how they work, we have a link under this story at fox28iowa.com.